G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficing Me, and I've got some exciting news to share. We got contacted by Mark Golden from Northside Marine, and he let us know that our Stabicraft 2250 Ultra Centre Cab has arrived at the dealership. So we're very excited to go and see what it looks like and just have our first impressions of our new boat. It's going to stay at the dealership for some time, but anyway, let's see what we think of it. Let's get out there. Okay, how exciting.
G'day, Mark.
How you going?
Good. This is not really a display area, if you can imagine.
Yes.
Yep. But we have your new boat right here.
Wow.
And just don't touch the side bump strips. That just put those on today.
Okay.
Yeah, I just glued them on. So
Like, this is enormous.
yeah,
And it's, what, only another metre longer. But it's like twice the size.
it is huge. Yeah. So now let's jump on board and you'll actually realise just how much space there is on this boat in comparison. I've actually fished 8 guys on this boat before. Well, as a test,
Yeah.
just to see how it would work. And
Yeah.
the fact that you've got the 7 metres to fish off it,
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally different to what you're currently running.
Well, that's good to know because we're taking 8 fellas out fishing in November.
Yeah,
So only in a couple of weeks' time.
yeah. Well, that's why it's come straight in the workshop. We're getting it. We're going to get it basically in and out of here and to you as quick as we can.
Yep. So when you had 8 guys on here fishing, did you push them all on one side and see
Yeah.
how far it would tip?
Oh, this doesn't lose today.
I'm
this
going
is-
to do that. Fair dinkum out.
I actually drove around at one point at 40 k's an hour with 7 guys on the bow. I
Did
said,
ya?
just get everyone up on the bow just to see if
Yeah.
didn't even really change the performance.
Really?
So, yeah, so you can have people lying down this side that you're not going to be worried about listing of this boat. So,
Even though this is pushed in, you've got the extra walk around.
yeah.
It still feels like a lot of space to me.
Yeah.
Because we're used to the 1850 anyway.
Yeah, guess what? Full waterproof cabin now.
Yeah. All the camera gear
Yeah,
and
well, they sort of say once you go hardtop, you can never go back.
yeah.
You'll be just loving the fact that you got all that glass, and then that just creates incredibly good vision.
Yeah.
So clears and stuff. They're flexible with ventilation, but once you have this sort of this hardtop setup, and no matter what the conditions throw at you, just everything's bone dry in here. That's something I'm sure especially for you, will work out very well. And then so you could utilize this area, and then that once we've dressed all this up, this is huge. Like, this is almost, you could park your 1850 just in the back of the boat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's the 1850 here. From the centre cab back to here.
yeah.
And then you've got all the rest of that extra space.
And then you've got a full casting platform off the front, so there'll be times you'll utilise that. But the adventures can now
Yeah, get
really
bigger.
expand.
What I was saying in the car on the way here, there's so many times that we want to film fishing and go out and do a shoot. Just go fishing with the cameras. But you can't, because even though the K1850 is capable, it's just, this will allow us to get that, go out in those days that are slightly shittier and worse, and still be able to, put a production together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there'll be lots more fishing. That's the point. There'll be lots more videos.
Yeah, and every opportunity to actually go to places you haven't taken the 1850. So some pretty epic trips in this sort of boat. So
Well, first impressions is bloody wow.
yeah, I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah. And I love the extra paint. I'm glad we got the full paint job.
Yep.
So that black is coming in on the inside as well.
Yeah, so that's the black from there up,
Yeah.
and then that is actually, if you feel it, that's an epoxy paint.
Yeah.
So that's a really hard wearing paint, because where you're going to hit, step around, you might have some eskies moving around in the back of the boat and gear and all that. This is much harder wearing than the gloss paint, so hence why they do it below the pontoon, right throughout the boat. So
And they do the cab with that as well. Yeah.
yeah, no, this is powder coated.
Oh, right.
Okay, so this is actually powder coated, very, very hard wearing and really
So
good.
that's slightly different to even that.
Yeah, so that feels
That's more
textured.
smoother.
Yeah, that feels textured.
Yeah.
This is still actually painted on because it's part of the boat once they've built it.
Right.
They can't powder coat it, but it's still a very hard wearing paint. Anywhere that you might be, either kicking it or sliding things, some guy runs around here, he's got a fish on, he's going to probably, and he's might be wearing some shoes on that. All this is all hard wearing. This is all hard wearing. Or he might have something on his pants and something like that. So this is all very hard wearing. But these custom rails are cool.
Yeah.
I found myself already naturally using.
Yeah, especially for
Well, you got rails everywhere to grab onto.
You do.
Even these are actually really good too when you're in rough conditions.
So you're going to get guys. They always congregate like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Behind that, especially when you're going there and back. They're always doing these ones, so you've got plenty to hold on to.
Yeah, and they're all big, nice, chunky rails.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah. Could I stand on this? Not really. What is it?
You imagine you got a lot of weight on 1
kilos.
point,
Yeah.
and it's a sheet of aluminium. If you spread the load out, it's totally different. So we don't really recommend adults to stand on the roof because of the aluminium sheet.
Yeah.
But as far as putting a roof cage up here, for example, additional sort of storage up here, some of the guys put, take huge, big, epic trips, take additional fuel, and they can, store empty jerry cans, just things up on the roof that just might
We've got an
take
inflatable.
space. Yeah, inflatable up on the roof. Paddle boards, kayaks, surfboards. There's no
You
end of
typically put a
things. Well, if you wanted to, that's one of the options. You can run a couple of roof racks on a system, and then put a storage cage, or some people put solar up on here for charging.
Yeah. There is a lot of space when you look from up here.
Yeah.
It's bigger than it looks from down there. There's heaps of room up here.
So in about 2 weeks from now, this is going to look very different.
Yeah.
You're all dressed up and
And the Helm Master system, where does that joystick go?
We might actually show you some photos, and because there's two options really.
Okay.
A lot of people actually just put it up here on the dash.
Yep.
Because then when you're driving, obviously you've got your steering here. You can maneuver the boat off the joystick here, main electronic screen here, Yamaha CL5 touchscreen gauge. We've got stereo up here. We'll have to hide in your little VHF radio kit in here too.
You think it'd be best there?
Well, I think that's where we probably put the joystick for.
Oh, the joystick, yes.
For maneuverability.
Yeah.
And so we just basically designed this little system, and some customers want to have a fair bit of input in that, and we're happy to sort of work in with what's going to look good, and that's where we'll go and have a chat to Craig and Lockie and just confirm exactly what electronics we want to put in there.
Yeah.
But just remember too that there's no end of, we can continuously add to this electronics package. So if we started out with a nice 16-inch Simrad here, good quality transducer, we can always add, radar, cameras. It's a multi-function sort of unit now, and everything's networked and talks to each other. So we can just continuously build on that if you wish.
Yeah.
But
And we probably will.
but similar to your 1850 now, we can get a good quality screen, good quality transducer.
Yeah.
That'll do all your navigation, fish finding, and then we can, we can expand from there. And if you want to start doing a fair bit of nighttime, some guys are going for the, night vision cameras or radar for safety, that sort of thing. So there's no end of where you can go with the electronics on these sorts of boats. Pretty handy sort of large area.
It was nice.
You don't have that on a 1850, so yeah.
So what will we put in there? Just storage?
It's totally up to you. You can,
Life jackets and stuff, or would you put the life jackets somewhere more accessible?
I wouldn't put the life. I would use that as wet storage.
Okay.
Okay, for things that you know, fenders and ropes and
Oh yeah.
you know, things that you don't care if
Kind
they
of
get
bulky,
wet.
shitty things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
if you go to Tangalooma Day and you know use it
Second
all.
anchor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just there's more and more storage available. So
Okay.
yeah. Some guys use it as a, you know, to bleed fish, like because you've got a bung in there, you can let salt water in, you can bleed your fish in there, and then chuck them in the ice box. Yeah, plenty of options, but
Yeah.
I every single boat, regardless of the model, I always tell my customers that, you know, there's you'll never regret having more storage. Like storage on a boat is
Yeah.
key. So
Yeah. Well,
the 1850 doesn't have a great deal of storage, especially not, you know, hidden away storage. So with this one, you'll like the fact that you've got, you know, all the storage under the V berth, sleeping areas in there.
Yeah.
You got multiple side pockets, underfloor storage here. There's, you know, pockets here, pockets here.
Yeah.
There's just more and more storage in here. And then the fact that when you're out fishing, you know, the fact that you've got access to your leaders and all your tackle and everything, like right at this station, liveys. You're not really digging around the boat trying to find tackle and gear and where's my hooks and whatever. So I just think a lot of customers love this area here. This station is just awesome for fishing.
Yeah. What a massive motor, but it's nowhere near as big as the 300. Anyway, we're pretty excited. Our first impressions, we didn't want to go over the top too much because I know that the footage in this video isn't a lot, but there's not a lot we can show you, to be honest, because a lot of the things have to be fitted out. So that's why the footage is a little scarce. We don't want to waste your time, you know, doing a full video on the boat when it hasn't been properly fitted out yet. We've got a handover video that will be coming up in the future once we get the boat. I think that'll be interesting because it's going to show the process of getting the boat off the dealer and getting that walkthrough, which is a really great thing. I remember when we got the 1850, we didn't have that couple of hours with the dealer in the water showing us a few things. We wouldn't have even known how to hook the thing up and take it back home. So these are really valuable things to do. And we've got the Hellmaster in this new one. So we're going to be doing a fair bit of quick learning on the hop. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Our first look, our first impressions is wow. So if you did, make sure you give it a big fishy thumbs up and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.